So you were aware that this stop grant was coming down the pike, and then did they advertise, or were they recruiting you, or how did you?
They had the position open, and we had to all send in our stuff and apply. I was working on I was on the advisory board of the Domestic Violence Service Center because Kim and Ruth were the counsel for the center. I couldn't be on the actual board. I had to be on the advisory board. So I knew through the advisory board that they had applied, and it was very competitive at the time too. And then when they received it, I was very hopeful that I'd be able to parlay my work into being a district attorney, but yet specializing in crimes of violence.
And I should know this. I think I know the answer to this, but a protection from abuse contempt petition. Can you explain what that is to me?
That's what I did in the DA's office. The PFAs themselves are civil, and the violations, when someone gets a protection order, the violations are what's criminal, and they're quasi-criminal. They're one of those areas where they don't get a criminal number in the criminal docket. They stay in the civil, but they're punishable by fines, probation, or prison. So what the DA's office did was, and they had been doing this prior to this, they were just shifting it around. Once they got a stop grant attorney, that's what I did every day of the week. Was I did the contempts of the PFAs, and we initiated all kind of new policies where we subpoenaed every officer to make sure they were there. The contempts were if someone violates that order. If it's a no contact order and they would call, that would be a violation. If they came and assaulted, they actually varied from very minor, as Judge Cappellini always said, de minimis, just drive me crazy, de minimis violations to the very severe violations. And so we would prosecute those, and that was 3 times a week, and there were weeks where we did more than 20. When I say I did thousands of contempts, we did, and that would entail, we would subpoena the police officers to make sure they were there. That was part of the new protocols, because if police didn't show up, you couldn't go forward to prosecute. The victims would be there. We'd work with the advocates from Domestic Violence Service Center and Victims Resource Center, and that was a big part of my daily job when I was in the DA's office, and then in addition to the trials that we had to do.